Oh my god. It's St. Nicholas Holt.
Hello, my child. Yes. It is me, Santa Claus. I am here to warn you not to review Die Hard. Review this instead.
Santa Claus saves the Earth. Why? And how do you know I was going to review Die Hard?
Because if you don't review it, I will fuck you up big time by putting you on the naughty list, ensuring you will never get a Rogue X-Men figurine this Christmas.
Okay, Santa. I'm sorry. Please. I'll do whatever you say.
Good boy, and remember this, I'm always watching.
Well, I guess there's no point in me wearing this now.
Santa Claus saves the Earth. What the hell is this? Is this even real? Last year I reviewed Rhapsody Street Kids and, spoiler alert, it's a terrible movie. Now I'm not one to exaggerate often, but this might just be the worst and best thing to happen to Christmas. No, I won't elaborate on why it's the best. I always wondered if there was a video game equivalent to Rhapsody Street Kids. A Christmas game so bad that it's infamous. And I think Santa Claus Saves the Earth might be exactly what I'm looking for. So let's play it and see if it's really as bad as everyone thinks it is.
Santa, do not come to my town.
I played it, and look, I'm only reviewing this so I could get a figurine of my favourite X-Men character. My own personal happiness is at stake here. The game's bad, by the way.
Santa Claus Saves the Earth is a platformer that was released for the PS1 and Game Boy Advance in 2002. Wait, a PS1 game? In 2002? It came out the same year as Rhapsody Street Kids? Here's a list of games that came out in the same year. Super Mario Sunshine, GTA Vice City, Kingdom Hearts, Tekken 4, Sly Cooper, Ratchet & Clank, Metroid Prime, and the best of them all, SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. Now compare them all with this. Now I know this might be harsh, comparing all these AAA games with this piece of shovelware, but actually there is no but. Like it's actually kinda harsh. The game was created by a Lithuanian studio called Ivoglamis. Ivoglamis, now known as Nord Current, and it came out 3 months after they were founded. So of course with that in mind, it was always going to be difficult to compete with these bigger studios. Still doesn't change the fact that this game is terrible.
Honestly, you North American and Japanese people should be grateful this game never left Europe. I mean, you're not missing out on much here. In fact, this game was the reason why all Lithuanian children in 2002 got cold for Christmas.
I first became aware of this game's existence around 10 years ago when Cat Icarus reviewed it back in the day, but I never watched the video. I've only seen bits and pieces of the game until recently, when I finally decided to play it for the purposes of this video. It's a really short game, one that you can finish in about an hour or so, less about the time it would take to watch My Neighbor Totoro. Yet in spite of how short the game is, why does it feel like I've been playing it for an eternity?
It's been 84 years.
Okay, let's finally jump into it. Santa Claus Saves the Earth begins on Christmas Eve. An evil fairy by the name of Nylum uses her magic pot. No, not weed, to trap Santa inside some magical land. He must find his way out of this land and defeat Nylum in order to save Christmas. Wait, I thought he was supposed to save the Earth. The title of the game implies that it's the case. And by imply, I mean it's literally called that. Santa Claus Saves the Earth. To be fair to the game, calling it Santa Claus Saves Christmas sounds too generic, but at the same time, I feel like I've been hoodwinked, and I'm going to call the United Nations to express my disappointment.
Actually, no, I won't call them. Instead, I'll just tell you that Santa wins in the end by beating Nylum in a fight to the death. I know, it's so shocking. More shocking than the time I found out that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's older second cousin.
Now this may look like a Game Boy Advance game, because it is a Game Boy Advance game. Yeah, that explains why the game looks like something that belongs on a handheld console. But even with that in mind, everything here just looks really cheap. Doctors recommend that you shouldn't look at the game's graphics for more than 10 minutes at a time, because if you do, your eyes will burn for all eternity. The environments are very run-of-the-mill and feel so out of place for something that is supposed to be Christmas related. In fact, if you ignore the title, the story, and replace Santa with some generic 2D platformer character, no one would assume this is a Christmas game. The way these levels are laid out are awful. This isn't about going right and occasionally jumping. This is like navigating through a maze where you can't remember which way you're supposed to go. On top of that, you have to find keys to open doors in order to beat a level, which is fine, but when you're running around like a headless chicken trying to get them, it really does drive you up the wall. The lack of any major landmarks to tell you where you are in a stage, on top of no radar or minimap, makes finding said doors more difficult than it has any right being. There are, however, many pictures of clowns hung up on the walls. For some reason. It reminds me of the clown painting hung up in Jim's house from the US office. The character sprites are certainly something alright. They're distinguishable enough, like Santa, the cavemen, members of the Mafia, and a brown Gamorrean guard from LEGO Star Wars. Wow, a second Star Wars reference in this video. That's amazing. Unlike The Rise of Skywalker.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
But sometimes I question what some of these creatures are supposed to be. Like this yellow thing. Is that supposed to be Pikachu after smoking crystal meth for 17 years? What about this blue thing with wings?
You could say that it drank too much Red Bull. Get it? Because, you know, Red Bull gives you wings.
Please clap.
Despite the variety of enemies in this game, they all make the same noise when you kill them, which is this horrible screeching noise like someone got shot in the belly button. There are 3 bosses throughout the game, one of which is Nylum as the final boss, and they all take place in what appears to be some kind of toy store or playroom. It makes sense, I suppose, given that Santa literally gives out toys and whatnot, but it's a bit weird that Santa is the size of a toy in this level, like this is some kind of unreleased, unofficial Toy Story Christmas special. The controls here aren't the worst I've ever experienced, but it's close. He is so slow when walking, but for someone more overweight than the London Zoo pandas, Santa can jump really high, almost like he's jumping on the moon. However, when he falls, it's like he's a piano dropping from the top of the Burj Khalifa.
Oh, I think I cracked my ass.
The screen doesn't follow Santa until he is 3/4 to either side of a stage, meaning if an enemy attacks, you would have little to no time to react, and you lose some health. Santa can use 4 different weapons: snowballs, tomatoes, his sack, and even a bazooka.
Santa is a person who brings joy to all the children around the world. In fact, he's a man of many talents, like giving out billions of presents in one night, being able to go down chimneys in spite of his fat belly, and shooting rockets at his foes.
You have to collect red or blue pellets or tins to stock up on ammunition. The snowballs and tomatoes work fine enough, but the sack has to be one of the most useless weapons in any game I've ever played. I don't think there was ever a time when I was able to successfully land a hit on an enemy whatsoever while using the sack. In the event that you run out of ammo and can't find any nearby, you might as well jump into a hole and hope there are spikes to kill you so you could start over. There are power-ups available, however it's never immediately apparent what they can do. I thought they could involve invincibility, but no, The blue one is a slightly higher jump, and for the green one, I have no idea. Santa only has 4 health and limited lives, the former of which can be replenished using medkits. The worst thing here is that when you lose all your lives, you get booted back to the main menu and must start from where you last saved, which is always the beginning of the last level you played. It doesn't sound that bad, says anyone who's never played this game before. It takes forever to get back to where you left off, and that just hurts my feelings. Whenever I talk about anything bad on this channel, I do my best to not come across as mean-spirited or spiteful towards the creators involved. So to balance things out, I always try to find some positives, because even shit can have some redeeming qualities. The game's only saving grace is the music. Some of the tracks here actually sound kinda good, but there are some caveats. The music loops over and over again, which is nothing new, I know. However, it could be really obvious when the music stops and starts again. Whenever the music stops, there is a long period of time where there is just silence, and then out of nowhere, it starts. And it's like a terrible horror movie where you know a jump scare is coming, but don't know when. While the tracks are good, it's actually comparable to fast food because too much of it will make you sick. Santa Claus Saves the Earth is without a doubt a terrible game, but to give it a little bit of credit, I've played games that are far more broken than this one. For a company's first game, it's actually somewhat competent, especially for a game that was designed specifically for the Game Boy Advance. Even with that in mind, however, I still find this game to be a dull experience overall. I would still rather play this over the AI Coke Christmas ads any day. In the end, don't play Santa Claus Saves the Earth. Instead, go spend time with your family and friends this Christmas.
Ugh, thank God it's over. I've done what Santa asked me to do, and now surely he'll get me that rogue figurine for Christmas.
Lol, just kidding. It's too expensive and we ran out of budget in the North Pole 7 months ago. Thanks for wasting your time. SC.
What? How could that fat fucker do this to me? The only way things could get worse now is if Rogue herself appeared and punched me.
Get ready!
What are you doing here?
Good night, sugar.